China will deliver 1,000 ventilators to New York in medical aid. US President Donald Trump says the state and country could expect a peak around Easter before America sees the curve flattening. Let's go live now to Professor at RMIT University, Joe Siracusa. Joe, good to see you this morning. The United States has quickly become the epicentre. New York would be ground zero at the moment. This is a really interesting dance politically as well at the moment between governors of individual states and the president.
Yes, I was just listening to the Surgeon General on at the NBC Meet the Press, and he says that the moment of truth is going to be the next week. He calls it the Pearl Harbor moment or the 9/11 moment. And so the big wave is coming, and there is a debate in America about who's leading this, whether it's the governors or it's the President of the United States. President tends to be following, but the other thing is the President tends to be running for office the entire time. And every time he gets up there, you know, he sort of politicizes or weaponizes what he's going to say or what other people are going to say. And it's quite clear that he's made peace with the Chinese in the last week, so that a little bit of the trade that's going to go in the way of agricultural purchases will be done. And interestingly, the president's kind of turned this around. He's taken the coronavirus crisis and said, look, this proves his 2 points about the importance of securing one's country's borders and about returning manufacturing to the United States. So he's trying to turn a negative into a positive. And so while we have the politics going on, we also have the effort to save lives. So we got two different strands going on at the same time.
Yeah, we do, and the economic ramifications are certainly something that we're all keeping an eye across as well. There is a lag on these numbers, but on Friday, as Tom Petrovsky was just explaining, we saw the unemployment figures out of the US. 700,000 people lost their jobs in 1 month.
Yeah, these are extraordinary figures. Look, I worked on Wall Street for a minute in my life, and these kinds of figures would have depressed the most optimistic people on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. And it's this idea that millions and millions of people are queuing up for unemployment benefits is extraordinary. And look, a lot of the opportunities are missed here. You know, commerce is closed down, finance is closed down. We have all kinds of businesses, small businesses, large businesses. Higher education is closed down, and all the rest of it. So, look, it's going to take a long time to bounce back from this. And what is extraordinary to me is how everything has changed in about a month. We've gone from being normal to surreal. And how people deal with this is going to be very interesting, particularly when the commander-in-chief, the chief executive of the United States, has to become the consoler-in-chief. When we start to get tens of thousands of bodies, you know, we're going to have the right messages to the American people to absorb the blow. So, you know, we got a spiritual problem. You know, how do we do this? Do we just bury the dead and move forward? Well, that's what they did after the Spanish flu. And the other trouble with the Spanish flu is, of course, is that there was a large amnesia afterwards. People didn't want to remember this. Well, people are going to remember this because of radio, television, and the social media. It's not going to get out of the consciousness. So what do we do next? What I don't like is that the United States is not leading on this. You know, it tends to be following things. You know, do you wear a mask or don't you wear a mask? In Boston, you got to wear a mask now when you go out. And so we got different curfews, different times, and governors at 6s and 7s on this. So I'd like to see a little more consistency. But look, it's politics as usual. Joe Biden is in the background trying to offer an alternative, and the president is saying, look, just follow me for the rest of the way and I can get you through this. Well, that remains to be seen.